What is up, everyone? So for this video, I'm going to show you how to make a king-size headboard for about $25. If you have a smaller bed, this project will more than likely be cheaper for you, but let's get started. Here's what you are going to need in addition to obviously screws and nails, but all of this will also be linked in the description below so that it's easier for you to access. When you are purchasing cheaper wood, you may not always get the straightest pieces, so look them over, make sure you get the ones that are, in good conditions, not warped or bent. So make sure you pick the best boards. What you're going to want to do next is put the boards right next to each other in the way that you would want them to be displayed. Right now, I have them vertically because I want to see how they look together, but obviously when you put the headboard, it's going to be horizontally, so make sure you put the better looking pieces of wood towards the top and the not so good looking ones towards the bottom. You are going to need wood glue just to make sure that the boards are really glued next to each other, and if you don't have any clamps, you can also use painter's tape as a way to clamp the wood together while the glue is drying. Since there are 9 boards, I wanted to do 3 at a time and then at the very end combine all of them together. I just figured that doing 3 at a time would be a lot easier than trying to do all of them at once. You are going to put your painter's tape down first, and then you are going to put the pieces of wood on top. Make sure that you line the ends up perfectly if you can. If they don't line up perfectly, that's fine, but just try your hardest. And then you're just going to tape it down as tight as you can so that they actually form a strong bond. Make sure that you do it at each side as well as in the middle. On the left side, I did a little bit more just because I wanted them to be even more tight since there was a little gap there. Then you're going to do the exact same thing to the other boards and make sure that you do it in 3s just because it's going to be a lot easier for you to do it that way. So now the glue has dried for about 24 hours or so. You are going to want to remove the painter's tape and attach all 3 pieces together. But this time we're going to use the little 1x2s on the back just to make sure that they are super secure. You are going to be using your wood glue, but make sure, I repeat, make sure that you have the ugly side towards the back because that's where you want to put the little 1x2s, not in the front. Remember how in the beginning I said that you needed 2 1x2s? Well, this little piece that I'm using is actually the leftover of what we are going to use later. So you're going to want to put this one in the back, but make sure that you line it up right above the very bottom board. You are going to need 2 of these, one on the left side and one on the right side. Make sure that you screw them in at the top, bottom, and middle. So I was a little bit impatient and I didn't want to wait until the next day, so I let it dry for about 6 hours or so, and at this point it was very sturdy. You can see that there are some minor gaps, but that is because the boards were not straight. The way that you can fix this is by adding wood filler and then sanding it down. I unfortunately didn't have any, and honestly my mom said that she didn't care that there were gaps, so I didn't even bother fixing them, but you can if you want to. I didn't want to change the look of the wood too much, so I'm going to be using golden oak, which this specific stain should match the other finishes of the wood in her room. But first, make sure that you give the whole thing a good sanding just to get rid of any glue that may have seeped through, and just so that it's a super smooth finish. I'm going to be using this big bad boy. Of course, you don't have to use it, you can use regular nails, but this is a lot faster and a lot easier for me anyway. The headboard is 6 feet wide and it is 31.5 in height. You are going to need 2 pieces, one for each side, at 30 inches. and then the top part is going to be 6 feet. Line up the 1x2 as best as you can, and then simply just start nailing or using your brad nailer. I don't think there's a specific amount of nails that you need to nail. However, I just did as many as I thought were needed in order to make sure that it was very secure. Since the boards that I purchased were 8 feet long, I had about 2 feet left over from the 9 boards, so you're going to want to use one of the 2 feet pieces that was left over to use it kind of as the legs for the headboard. You're going to place them right below the 1x2, and you're simply just going to screw in some screws. In the video I used 2, but please use 4 so that it's extra secure. Make sure you watch next week's video because I'm making over my parents' room, and then you will see how this looks in a styled room. And here is what the back of your headboard should look like. I highly encourage you to watch next week's video where I'm going to be sharing with you my parents' makeover, and then you can see how this looks in a room that looks completely different. Okay, you guys, that was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe if you aren't, and then also hit the little bell notification, and make sure that you also follow me over on my Instagram. But once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next week for a room makeover. And this time it's my parents' room. So have a good one. See ya!